The whole world is watching you. Do you know that?
In the name of Jesus, let him go. That is an order from the King of Heaven.
The
Let him go.
The whole world is watching
Let
this.
him go immediately. That is an order.
The world is watching you right now.
Tear gassed me and maced me so bad.
All right.
I know. I'm gonna.
This is like the makeshift triage where activists are being treated for tear gas.
The guy in the black just sprayed it right into my face.
The police is actively tear gassing.
Try blinking that one for me, okay?
The deputy sheriff came out of his truck. He said, disperse, disperse. I turned and he just shoved the pepper spray canister in my face and squirted me.
They basically just grabbed me immediately, sprayed me with, pepper spray, and shot me, point blank with 2 rubber bullets right in the side. I can show you if you want to see. It's a little.
Oh my gosh!
So.
Oh my god! I saw the bullets. They're huge.
Does anybody have
Were you trying to rescue a dog?
I'm in red team and I'm on red team and breach and like.
Give me your towel.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's like contaminated and gonna make it worse.
All right.
I don't understand these people behind those fences would rescue a dog if in that condition if they found him on the street, and yet they're preventing their rescue now.
We are live in Wisconsin with 4 reporters on the ground. We're going to go straight out to Amy. Amy, you are live. Amy, what's happening?
We're over on Irby Road, just north of Ridglan. We saw in the live stream that Wayne was arrested immediately on site as he was trying to serve papers to Ridglan for a lawsuit.
So are you saying that the operation is underway, the rescue is underway?
That is correct, Jane. The rescue is underway, and I'm actually going to change your view so you can see what I see as I'm walking in.
We were told that today was going to be a training day, that the action was going to happen tomorrow, but they have started the open rescue of 2,000 beagles right now, and it is underway. You are watching animal rights history in action as vehicles converge. About 1,000 activists from around the country and indeed the world. It is underway as we speak right now.
Jane, I'm hearing there's tear gas.
Oh no!
There's
oh no!
Tear gas already being deployed.
Tear gas. Oh my gosh, that's very scary. This is literally unbelievable. Now, Renee King-Sonnen, what are your thoughts?
I am in utter awe. I am in shock. I am so incredibly grateful that we are here. We're here at this moment in history on Unchained TV. It is just an absolute miracle that that we're converging at this time in history, and just God's blessings on all of them.
Unbelievable. Today we were told that this was going to be a training, testing, but you never know with this organization. They change things moments to moment because the law enforcement had said they were going to basically stop them. And you just heard that tear gas is being used. About 1,000 activists descending on this troubled facility. You can see activists going in there. And I urge you, Amy, to stay safe. We don't want to put anybody in danger. But this is amazing. This is absolutely extraordinary. The courage that these people, because, there's charges. The last time this happened, they are now facing charges. All right. Well, what is happening now, Amy?
Yeah, Jane. So I'm seeing what looks like a lot of tear gas being deployed. Tear gas. It's tear gas being deployed.
They pepper sprayed us right in the face, tear gas, throwing it right into the crowd. I mean, people that have asthma couldn't breathe. They were falling down. They're just violent as I've never seen such violence against peaceful activists in my life. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
We're here to save the dogs, to help the dogs and their suffering in these are torture chambers. These are compounds of horror for these poor dogs.
Yes. They are holding flowers. There you go. Thank you, Mike.
1, 2, 3, 4, open up the cage doors!
7, 8, 6, locked and liberty! 9, 10, 11, 12, Ridglan Farms!
This is absolutely extraordinary. I want to play for a second while we're watching this what the cops said.
Dane County community. I'm your Dane County Sheriff Calvin Baird, and I'm here to provide an update on an event that we've been made aware of that's going to be taking place this weekend in Dane County, Wisconsin. An outside animal activist group has organized and planned a protest and intentional break-in of private property at the Ridglan Farms facility in Blue Mountains, Wisconsin. But we have to draw a decisive line between peacefully protesting and disagreeing and violently breaking into a facility, damaging property, and stealing private property. Our sheriff's office will be there on site to ensure that people can exercise their First Amendment rights. But when people start breaking in and breaking the law, we have to intervene to keep it maintained.
That's what he's saying. But Wayne Shung, who is the leader who has just been arrested, had his response to that. I'm going to play that very briefly so you can get Wayne's response to what the sheriff said.
The sheriff of Dane County just made a video condemning violent outsiders for breaking the law by rescuing dogs from Ridglan Farms. And this might be the craziest thing I've heard from law enforcement in my 20 years of being a lawyer. Let's unpack why. First, the sheriff's views on violence at Ridglan. This is a company that has cut the vocal cords out of dogs, held them down and injected them with rabies, and just killed them because it decided it did not want to waste money feeding them. But under the sheriff's view, all totally non-violent. In contrast, a young animal activist holding stuffed animals and flowers? Oh my God, the violence. Second, the sheriff's views on breaking the law at Ridglan. A Dane County judge issued an order indicating that any reasonable prosecutor would conclude that Ridglan broke the law. The Department of Agriculture, not usually an ally to animal activists, concluded that Ridglan violated the law over 300 times by surgically mutilating dogs. But to the sheriff, nope, not law-breaking, because he has a completely made-up legal theory that Ridglan is exempt from the animal cruelty laws as a teaching facility. But does this look like a school? So Sheriff, with all due respect, of course you believe we are breaking the law, because you're living in a legal fantasy world. So what's really going on? Well, it's called regulatory capture. Agencies that are supposed to serve the public serve powerful interests instead. And it's happening here, with the government supporting armed thugs against grandmas holding flowers and trying to rescue dogs. What do we do about it? Well, I wrote about this in a 2023 piece in the Harvard Law Review. But sometimes the only way to make change is to be the change ourselves, by going around corrupt politicians and taking direct action. And that's what we're going to do. If the politicians won't rescue the dogs, we will. And the people will support us.
We are told that Wayne Shung, the leader of this entire operation, was arrested at the outset. We are also being told that tear gas is being used.
Do you expect tear gas and rubber bullets?
I did
and
not.
Riot police?
I did not. So that's all been completely unprecedented for a mass open rescue. They've never used that kind of non-lethal force against completely overtly non-violent, peaceful activists before. We've had mass arrests before, but cops have never used that level of force against activists in this kind of context.
Okay, so you were just afflicted with tear gas, and now you're going back?
We're gonna try to go back. They pepper sprayed me in my left eye. There was a cop with a tear gas mask who walked right up to my left eye and sprayed pepper spray right inside of it. Luckily, I have my contacts on in my left eye, so my left eye was protected. Jamie Logan was also with us, and she was walking up to that front gate. I'm so proud of everybody.
Yeah. The activists managed to go up to the property line, and then police got extremely violent. They started tear gassing. They started pushing people to the ground. I saw one woman that was tackled. I mean, I hope she's okay. This is all simply for trying to save dogs from criminal animal cruelty and neglect. These dogs spend their entire lives in 2-foot by 4-foot cages. They never get to see the daylight. They only know suffering and torture. And so activists are just here to try to save them from these violations, from this cruelty that's been documented over and over again.
Be absolutely convinced that this is a turning point in animal rights history. It's up there with some of the biggest moments that you can remember from other social justice movements, when hoses and dogs were sick on people in the civil rights movement, and in other moments in history where there's violent confrontations. Please remember, the activists are not being violent. The activists have not hit anybody. They have not tear gassed anybody. They are being tear gassed.
This is going to go down in history as one of the biggest animal rights events in history. These people are putting their lives on the line. Everybody that went there is putting their life on the line. We don't know what's going to happen. The reaction from the sheriff's department, in my opinion, seems biased towards Ridglan Farms. And any means necessary appears to be the way they operate. And that's just, I take that from what the sheriff had said.
So I definitely told the police that we would leave if Ridglan will release 100 dogs to us. We'll just walk away today. But I'm not confident that the police actually relayed that message to Ridglan or anything. And so that seems unfortunate. But and we said otherwise, we have 100 people willing to get arrested. And so now we're debating whether we want to let 100 people get arrested or probably just try to come back. So that's where we're at. And I definitely think we should just come back.
Renee, as you watch this unfold with the tear gas, with Wayne Shung arrested, it seems like almost like a war, Renee.
It does. I've known Wayne for 11 years, and I've watched this organization continually just ramp up and increase their ability to do these live actions with such accuracy, with such momentum, with such unbelievable passion and dedication. And I really am believing with everything in me that these dogs are going to be rescued. I am feeling something inside of me right now that is just like we are about to witness a real breakthrough.
Look at those barricades that they've set up. This is absolutely extraordinary. Ridglan Farms, a troubled facility that was subject of a special prosecutor's investigation, but instead of proceeding with any criminal charges, a deal was made for them to close down as a breeding for sale operation by this July. It was actually a U.S. congressman that represents this district that spoke up in favor of the beagles. Let's hear that for a second.
In my district, we have something called Ridglan Farms. That's a beagle breeder for research. They've had 311 code violations, including very serious harm to the health of dogs. Grants are still, in the last month, going to groups that are getting beagles from Ridglan Farms. Could you please take a look at this?
I believe you, but I have a hard time believing that. I need to look into this.
I'm here with Vox.
She's a reporter with
on
Vox.
this.
Yeah.
I was not expecting the tear gas because the vibes locally felt like they were so supportive of the activists. Mark Cocan, the House representative for this district, seemed to kind of be signaling support for freeing the dogs, was not supportive of Ridglan.
And we weren't doing anything. We were just standing there. They told us to disperse. Then he shot tear gas canisters. When he shot the tear gas canister, I went to step on it in the mud. He said, "Don't step on it." I stepped on it just to put it out. And when I did, he shot me with this rubber bullet.
Whoa.
I went in backwards, tried to avoid the mace, and but the police were right on the other side. So they basically just grabbed me immediately, sprayed me with, pepper spray, and shot me, point blank with 2 rubber bullets right in the side. I can show you if you want to see. It's a little.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh my god. I saw the bullets. They're huge.
Yeah. They're these big sandbag bullets or something like that. I guess someone said that they're not quite rubber bullets, but something like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's so. Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean,
How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I mean, it's
Are you? It was painful.
I can't take
obviously.
a deep breath without it being painful. But it's been a little while now, and they obviously bandaged me up real good. The medics on our side, so I'm feeling all right now.
Are you gonna go to the hospital just in case, or are you gonna see how you feel?
I think I'm going to see the nurse who took care of me said that if I in the next couple of days have shortness of breath, I should go to the hospital right away then in case.
What nurse? Where were you taken care of? Over here?
Yeah, right here, next to the driveway where the medic kind of. Yeah. Mhm.
So there are actual nurses that are helping out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Nurses, nurse practitioners, all sorts. Yeah, it's really amazing how many different people with different skills and came out to support this. So, and I'm obviously very appreciative.
Yeah, I've been watching in just complete awe and horror of what is happening out there between the tear gas and the security and tactical gear. I'm really worried for these activists' safety. And they're there peacefully trying to save these beagles from being tortured. The congressperson said it perfectly. There's 311 counts of animal abuse for this facility. It's time to completely shut it down. They shouldn't be able to breed in any way. And to see law enforcement protecting this facility over these activists' well-being, it's really hard to watch.
We're supposed to get in and save the dogs, but we haven't been able to breach the gate because every time we get close, they spray tear gas on us. And some people are really affected by it. Everyone just kind of hunkers down like this.
I got pepper sprayed in my face and mouth.
And what were you doing at that moment?
I was cutting the fence.
Alexandra Paul was arrested in the last rescue. She's the former Baywatch actress, activist who's been arrested numerous times. She's one of the leading animal rights activists.
That cop was saying, I'm here because I have to be here. And I can tell you from personal experience being there 5 weeks ago that the cops were not incredibly enthusiastic about being there because they understood too when they saw what was going on with the dogs and how we were peacefully removing these sweet beagles. A lot of them were moved. When I went to jail for 2 days after being arrested for rescuing a dog, and when I was released, the woman who handed me my jail gear said thank you. They handed me my property back, said thank you. And she had tears in her eyes when she said it. And several other people who also were jailed got notes saying thank you. Beagle Breakout, Operation Beagle Breakout. Wayne had a little sticky on his clothes saying Operation Beagle Breakout with a little drawing of a beagle. So it was clear that lots of people are on our side.
Oh, what we just saw was that one of the activists was dragged through the fence line by police, and then they've been down. We've got it on drone. It's a little hard to see exactly what's happening, but they've been down for at least 7 minutes. They just started to move, but they look like they're seriously injured. We heard a loud bang. It doesn't appear to be an actual gun, but potentially a rubber bullet.
Daniel, do you have anything to tell us about?
So on social media, we've been seeing some posts from Direct Action Everywhere. They're essentially showing some of the people who have been hurt. This is one activist who's on the ground. It looked like he'd been hit by a bullet and he just stayed on the ground. This is the person that we were talking about earlier, who was on the ground for like 8-10 minutes and was just not moving. This is essentially the activist on the floor right there.
As close as you can. I was just up at the rescue. There was a call for medical help. Someone was injured with bloody face from the fence, like maybe a serious injury. We sent whoever medical we had, but I did walk over to the police officers across the street and asked, can you help in a medical situation? Can you help us? We have a person bleeding. We need medical help. And her head, no.
I'm just watching this, still in horror. I can't believe they're being shot with rubber bullets, just for trying to, show compassion and go in there and save these dogs. So I am just, basically on the edge of my seat. I'm really worried about the activist that was, reportedly dragged through the fence. This would not be happening had the law enforcement done their job.
Just 2 nights ago, I was watching the Dane County, this is happening in Dane County, Wisconsin, supervisors meeting, and here's a supervisor expressing support for the beagle.
The last piece of work that Supervisor Ritt and I did, together along with all of you, was approving Resolution 119. Now, therefore, be it resolved that dogs are sentient beings and that they deserve care, respect, and ethical treatment, and therefore, Dane County must ensure the legal treatment of animals such as these within its jurisdiction and must hold both local and state agencies accountable for enforcing that law. You may lead up to the open, orderly rescue that is planned for April 19th and work with county and state electeds like we promised in this resolution to live out its promise and protect those that are set to rescue on Sunday. And I assure you, these dogs will not be homeless.
So there you have it. You have a supervisor, a Dane County supervisor, and a member of Congress basically saying, these dogs are in trouble and we should do something. Nevertheless, what you're seeing with the breaking news we're bringing you is absolutely extraordinary.
This is what it feels like to save animals. We are the Animal Liberation Unit. We will save these animals.
Yes, we will.
There were a lot of rumors at the beginning that it had already been breached and dogs had gotten out. I don't think that's true, but I wanted to go up and see what was going on. And it's rough, muddy terrain. And I'm pretty sure there's manure in there that was put in by Ridglan as an obstacle. And I was pretty quickly tear gassed. It was scary for a minute. It was mostly I was afraid of having an asthma attack and dying. So the fear was the worst part of it. But it went away from me within a minute. Other people were incapacitated for a long time.
I want to give an update. Unfortunately, no dogs have made it out. But a vehicle did make their way onto the property, and some people have made their way onto the property, but I don't think anything's been breached thus far.
When the activists got here planning to cut through the barriers, their tools were taken away by police right away, and so that quickly made everything just kind of impossible. And every time they got close to the fence, they're pepper sprayed and can't function.
I want to bring a very special guest into our coverage right now because this issue is close to my heart because this is a beagle mix by the name of Wednesday. And of course, she's completely bored by the whole thing. But one of the reasons why they use beagles in experimentation is because they're so docile.
Beagles are caring animals, and that's why they use the beagles for testing, because they're so forgiving. And these people from all over the world, there are people here from Hawaii, there are people here from Canada, there's people here from Brazil, England, and all over the United States.
All right, we're back with you, Amy. Amy, what's going on? We're back with you.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like tensions are really increasing here.
Michelle, tell us, what do you know?
It's crazy. So, the activists tried to penetrate again. They moved the hay bales. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see. We have an activist down. Do you want to show me? With tear gas, as well as they're hitting people with rubber bullets. The latest news, as we have heard, is that state police have also come in and SWAT is being sent in. And they're telling everybody, if you don't want to be arrested, to leave the area.
We invite Ridglan Farms on anytime. We would love to dialogue with you. We would love to have a conversation with you about this issue. But I can tell you that one of the reasons why the authorities have come down so strong with tear gas today is that a month ago, almost a month to the day, the activists went in with their first mass open rescue. And well, here it is. Watch.
We have dogs, though. We have dogs.
Wow.
I think
Dogs are coming out. Dogs are coming out of that facility.
I think there's more.
Wow, look at that. These are animal activists who went into Ridglan Farms. You are watching animal rights history in action, mass animal rights action in progress. Look at that beagle. Look at that beagle being rescued. Look at that beagle.
This doesn't look good.
There are the beagles going into the van right now. Check this out. Oh, that's a police officer taking one of the beagles.
Get this on film. Got it. We're begging you.
Are you going to look at kids in the eyes? How clean with me? What is wrong with you?
Activists are begging police not to return that beagle to the laboratory breeding facility.
How scary he is! Sir, please! He's grinning for her life! Allow him to go
How could you do this? How could you do this?
So that was a month ago, and now that was only about, 60 to 100 activists. I do feel that this could be a very good thing for animal rights, because I think it shows people that people are willing to get arrested. People are willing to get injured. People are willing to go to jail. And when people feel that strongly about something, it shows that they mean business and they're serious. It's not just some fad trend that they do because, it's cool and they go to a lot of parties. It's their passion. It's their life's work.
Keep doing it. I mean, a lot of activists, will criticize, their work. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you're on the, always sitting around talking about people shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. Well, what are you doing to change any dadgum thing? Do something. Even if you make a mistake, get up out of your couch and go do something.
Okay, so the latest now is that at 4:30, they're going to be holding a press conference outside Dane County Sheriff's Office. Everyone's already gathering there now. They've decided to wrap things up and then regroup, and now we're going to Dane County Sheriff's Department because Wayne got arrested, a bunch of other activists as well.
Hi Jane, I'm driving. I want to relay to you the last interview that I did. I'll send you the video as soon as we're able to. The young man I talked to, he said they were among the first group to go up to the fence. And they basically were almost at the fence and they got pepper spray directly in their faces. And he said he and a colleague of his were on the side, on the ground, washing their faces with water, trying to get the chemical out of their eyes. And they saw a uniformed officer whose uniform says sheriff launch a tear gas at them, directly at them from a few feet, and laughing his head off at them.
We went up there to try and start breaching, try and make some sort of entrance. I had a really crappy experience. They breached and one of the sheriffs pepper sprayed me in the face. So I ran off to the side because I lost my vision. And once I was a decent distance away outside the perimeter, one of the medics came to come and help me with my eyes. And the sheriff shot a tear gas canister specifically at us. Just the two of us sitting off to the side, pouring water on our face. We clearly weren't trying to do anything. And they were laughing at us while we were trying to run away. I mean, I didn't have any vision, so they were just guiding me by the hand, and we were trapped between the hay bale and the fence. So if they weren't there to guide me, if that medic hadn't shown up, I would have been stuck in tear gas with no vision.
So these were not the private security, they were police?
They were wearing sheriff is on their outfit at least.
There was a bunch of the sheriffs that guard came in quickly, and one of them, this guy that you could tell that he was out to get us, he shoved this activist, this tall guy, so sharply and so violently that this guy just jammed into me and I almost lost my footing. I mean, it was really something how this police officer just grabbed this guy and just shoved him. I'd never seen anything like that. The jolt I felt, was, I really was shocked.
People are just gathered here at the jail to support our friends that were so brave today. Oh my God. Like, just going into a war zone, honestly. It's very scary, but our friends were just willing to do it. I saw a lot of people get slammed to the ground by the police and arrested, and I just want to support them any way that I can. And then pretty soon we're going to actually have a press conference right here with some experts and some people who got really violence and abused by the police.
Ridglan Farms is claiming that one of the activists drove a truck through their fence line and at high speeds of rage drove into the police officers and got arrested. What are your thoughts on that? Is there any truth to it?
That is not true at all, because the activist did use a vehicle to push the fence off of the rollers, but it wasn't a speedy thing, a high-speed thing, and not like no officers had to duck out of the way or anything. They just drove up to the fence and just pushed forward, and that was intentional, and it worked to open the fence up. But unfortunately, they had the rubber bullets and the sandbag bullets and the tear gas. It was just too much for activists to make it through.
You really are the person with your testimony, which we covered live, that resulted in the special prosecutor being appointed. I mean, you are the hero of the story.
So for the tearing eye surgery, you're supposed to have a licensed veterinarian performing the procedure. There was not a licensed veterinarian. You're supposed to use anesthesia. They did not use any of that. They just took a scissors straight to the gland of the dog's eye, just straight to the eye and cut it. That is not standard practice by any means. So every way you look at the procedure is extremely cruel, extremely illegal, and this is just one instance. 3 weeks into the job, I was roped into this. Imagine what they would have roped me into if I would have stayed longer.
Shame! Shame! Shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Ridglan Farms! Shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Shame! Shame! Shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Shame on you for what you do! Just like us! Just like us! Right to the ground. Just like us! Just like us! Just like us!
I was pepper sprayed and tear gassed very early on in the thing before there was any medical assistance or anything, and holy hell, that it was very, very painful and just so shocking when we're coming in with peace and no harm's way of just getting these dogs, but completely blinded by it. I was in excruciating pain. I could not open my eyes for at least half an hour.
Today, we saw a dark side of humanity. We saw law enforcement officers commit horrific acts of violence against our friends as they tried to provide aid to some of the most vulnerable among us. We saw our government side with a company that is caging and torturing thousands of puppies who, without rescue, will never know an act of kindness, will never know freedom, who will never even know the feel of sun on their skin. Many of these dogs are sold to laboratories where they are forced to ingest chemicals and even have chemicals rubbed in their eyes. Ironically, the people trying to rescue them today had chemicals sprayed in their eyes.
The violence that we experienced today was off the charts. And yes, it does not compare to what the dogs go through. Right. I was pepper sprayed in the face, and I was standing right next to Curly, who was being violently kicked by the police to try to stop him from coming through the fence. When they found that they couldn't kick him out, they grabbed him and pulled him inside. We couldn't tell if he was dead or not. I filmed him for like 2 minutes. And then thank God he was breathing. Yes, Teddy!
Hi, I'm Curly. I
wanted to make the first step to try and help these poor innocent animals out, and I was brutalized by the police. I was kneed in the head. I had pepper spray relentlessly poured in my face. Even at one point, my foot was run over by an ATV. Luckily, it's okay. But that's only a fraction of the pain that these innocent animals go through.
We were only there to help those animals, and they violently attacked us. I was outside the fence, not even inside, and they knocked me to the ground, sprayed tear gas in my eyes, pepper spray, shot tear gas canisters at my body. I'm just shocked that the sheriff can act like this.
We were really hopeful that we were going to be able to have a surrender of all the 2,000 dogs without, we thought we might get there and be able to negotiate. We got out of the car and Wayne was immediately arrested. Nobody was given any information. We then stepped onto the property and tons of people in my group were taken right down to the ground. They were maced. There was so much excessive force used. We had 20 adopters ready in Long Island, in New York City, ready for these dogs. I was one of the first people on the scene. I was in Wayne's car. He immediately was arrested. As I peacefully walked up to the gates, I was tackled by an officer. I weigh 125 pounds, twice thrown to the ground, his knee in my back. He pulled my hair back, sprayed my face with mace at close range, and then zip-tied my hands behind my back and threatened me with a taser.
Our intent was to start some negotiations with them, and I think the first words out of the police officer's mouth was, "Put your hands behind your back." They had no inclination to work with us, no inclination to talk with us, no inclination to try to, resolve this peacefully. When I was in the army and I was in Afghanistan, we encountered situations that de-escalation was required. And we always maintain the idea of escalation of force. You only go one step above the people that you're confronted by. And one step above arriving peacefully is not arresting people, is not shooting people with tear gas, it's not slamming people on the ground.
It's my home, it's my community, and I came out today to peacefully demonstrate and help save these dogs because I'm just disgusted and appalled that this is happening in my backyard, and I just don't want it to allow it to happen anymore. We showed up today to peacefully rescue 2,000 dogs that are tortured on a daily basis, and in response, I was pepper sprayed in the face, I was tear gassed, and I was shot by a rubber bullet right here. And Ridglan just needs to do what's right and needs to release these dogs.
It's all of you guys. Today, we saw the best and the worst of humanity. We saw peaceful activists show up with an intent to just show love, to show kindness in every single action, in our thoughts, in our words, in our deeds, and yet we were met with all of the violence we've been discussing, the pepper spray, the bullets, the tackling, and ultimately we need to keep showing up with peace, with love, with compassion, because the world clearly needs more of that.
Yeah.
Right? So if they want to keep coming at us with this type of aggression, we are going to show up with that much more peace and spread that into the community around us. Thank you so much, guys. We are going to keep going until every goddamn cage is empty.
Yeah!